Maria had been mopping the floors of Hartwell Enterprises for 11 years. Every morning she arrived before dawn, before the executives in their pressed suits, before the receptionists with their perfect smiles, before anyone who might notice. A tired woman with calloused hands and a gentle heart. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from. She cleaned every corner of that building with pride, because everything she did for her daughter. Sophia was 16, brilliant beyond her years, with eyes that held the kind of fire that poverty could not extinguish. Maria had sacrificed everything to keep that fire burning. She worked double shifts on weekends, skipped meals when money was tight, and never once let Sophia see her cry. The little apartment they shared was small but filled with love, and on the wall above Sophia's desk hung a single framed photograph of a man, Maria's father, Eduardo, who had passed away 3 years ago. He had been a simple carpenter, uneducated by the world's standards, but rich in wisdom and character. And he had always told Maria that honesty was the only inheritance worth leaving behind. Maria had believed him. She had lived by those words every single day of her life. One Tuesday morning, while cleaning the executive floor, Maria noticed a thick envelope on the hallway floor near the boardroom. It must have fallen from someone's bag or briefcase. She picked it up and saw that it was sealed and marked, "Confidential for CEO James Hartwell." Without hesitation, without even a flicker of temptation, Maria walked straight to the reception desk and handed it over, explaining exactly where she had found it. The receptionist barely looked up. Maria returned to her mop and thought nothing more of it. What Maria did not know was that inside that envelope were documents, critical to a merger deal worth millions of dollars. Documents that had been missing for 2 days, causing chaos in the boardroom, panic among lawyers, and sleepless nights for the executives. When James Hartwell, the CEO, was informed that a janitor had found and returned the envelope untouched, he was stunned. He asked to see the security footage. He watched Maria find the envelope, look at it briefly, and walk directly to the front desk without a single moment of hesitation. He watched it twice. Then he sat quietly in his chair for a long time. He called Maria to his office that afternoon. She came nervously, still in her uniform, hands clasped in front of her, wondering if she had done something wrong. James Hartwell stood and shook her hand, which surprised her deeply. He thanked her for her honesty and asked her a little about herself. Maria, shy at first, told him about Sophia, about their small apartment, about her dream of sending her daughter to university. James listened carefully. Then he reached into a drawer and pulled out a form, a scholarship application for a prestigious university program his company sponsored each year. He slid it across the desk and told her Sophia should apply. Maria's eyes filled with tears. She took the form gently, as if it were made of glass, and whispered her thanks. But what happened next was the moment that changed everything. As she stood to leave, she glanced at the large wooden nameplate on his desk, the one that read James Hartwell, CEO, and beneath the company logo was a small carved detail, a simple but distinctive pattern of interlocking leaves. Maria froze. Her hands began to tremble. She leaned closer, her heart hammering, and whispered, "Sir, I'm so sorry, but where did you get this nameplate?" James looked at her curiously and said his late mother had given it to him years ago, that she had bought it from a carpenter in a small town named Rosewood. Maria's voice cracked. "That carving," she said, pointing to the leaves. "That pattern, my father invented it. It was his signature. Every piece he made had that mark. His name was Eduardo. He worked in Rosewood." James Hartwell stared at her. The color drained from his face. He slowly opened the bottom drawer of his desk and pulled out an old faded receipt, yellowed with age, that his mother had kept tucked inside the nameplate when she gifted it to him. At the bottom of the receipt, in simple handwriting, was the name Eduardo and a small hand-drawn version of the very same leaf pattern. James looked at the receipt, then at Maria, and his eyes filled with tears. He told her that his mother had spoken of that carpenter for years, that when she was going through the hardest time of her life, a kind carpenter in Rosewood had refused payment for a small repair job, saying she needed her money more than he did. His mother had never forgotten it. She had tracked him down later to pay him and buy the nameplate, and she had told James that that man was the most decent human being she had ever encountered. That man was Eduardo. That man was Maria's father. The CEO of $1 million company was sitting across from the daughter of the man who had shown his dying mother what true kindness looked like. James Hartwell wiped his eyes. He told Maria she was not going home as a janitor that day. He created a position for her in the company's community outreach program, a role that matched her heart perfectly. Sophia received a full scholarship, and in the lobby of Hartwell Enterprises, right next to the front desk, James placed a small plaque that read, "In honor of Eduardo, a carpenter who taught us that character is the greatest currency." If this story touched your heart the way it touched ours, please show your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel Kindness True Stories, where every story is a reminder that goodness never goes unnoticed, and that the seeds of kindness, planted by one generation, bloom beautifully in the next. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep sharing stories that restore faith in humanity. Thank you for being part of this community.